Over the years, our family's had a share of health problems.
So prescriptions are a part of our life.
Before we went to the big box store.
We both thought it would help us save. But with the long lines and impersonal service, filling prescriptions became a chore. That's when a friend recommended D&H.
Now Tristan knows our prescriptions. Brenda always helps us find the right vitamins. And after Dad's fall, Monica's been a real expert with all our home medical needs. All without the lines.
Trust and service.
That's our D&H.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this first day of October 1st, 2015. And we just finished September, which was Hunger Action Month across the whole country. And we have LINDSAY Lopez with us, Food Bank for Central and Northeast Missouri.
Hi, Paul.
Welcome, LINDSAY. Well, what was the reason for Hunger Action Month in September?
Sure. Well, Paul, we are actually a part of the Feeding America Network, and that is a grouping of 204 food banks across the entire country. Mm-hmm. So I believe back in 2008, Feeding America actually designated each September as Hunger Action Month. And this is just a way for them to generate awareness about the fact that there is great need that exists in our community for the number of people who are food insecure.
Yeah.
So we spent the month of September really talking about that, using it as a way to educate, using it as a way to ask people to advocate for the people who have a need. And something fun that we actually did to raise awareness. If anybody drove past the food bank in the month of September, they saw our giant orange spoon that is in front of the building. So our good friends at Hewlett Heating and Air Conditioning built that spoon as a way to build awareness.
Yeah.
But we believe it to be the largest orange spoon in existence, and we actually have applied to the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
The largest
yeah.
orange spoon in existence.
And when I say large, I'm not kidding, because it's 16 feet tall, it weighs 212 pounds. If you turned it on its side and filled up the bowl with soup, it would hold 70 gallons of soup.
I guess it was. All right. But you had a term in here, hunger insecurity?
Food insecure.
Food insecurity. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's just another term for hunger. And something else I would point out is that, Missouri and Columbia in particular typically receives accolades across the country as being, this wonderful place to live. But Missouri received a designation recently, and unfortunately, it's not the first time we've received this designation, but we're ranked second in the country for very low food insecurity. So food insecurity means someone who is hungry, but if someone is very food insecure, then that means not just do they not know where their meal is going to come from next week, it means that they may not know where that meal will come from tomorrow or tonight.
That is really hard to understand, especially if you have never been in a situation like that.
Right.
To think that you personally don't know where the food is going to come from that you want to put on the table tonight or tomorrow for your family.
Exactly.
That's got to be very difficult to deal with.
It has to be. And the truth is 1 in 5 people, 21% of people who live right here in this community fall into that category of being food insecure.
So when you're walking down the street, just to put it in statistic-wise, 1 in 5 people.
1 in 5.
5 people are standing ahead of you. One of those persons are going to be food insecure.
Right.
They're not going to know where their next meal is coming from.
That's exactly right. And I'm glad that you say that, because we do interact with people every day. We just may not know.
And we don't realize it.
Exactly.
We don't realize it.
We just may not know what the face of hunger truly looks like.
Yeah. So what can people listening to us right now, what can they do to help?
There are many, many things that they can do. We're so fortunate that this is a giving community, and we have wonderful volunteers who come to the food bank and help us on a daily basis, or who go to the central pantry and help us on a daily basis. So if that's something that anyone has a passion for, I would encourage them to reach out to us at the food bank, and we can definitely accommodate them. I would also say that, if people feel compelled to make a contribution, we can take $1, we can turn that into 12.5 meals or 15 pounds of food, so we can stretch that dollar.
Now that's
a long
something
way.
I've never been able to understand, and it's good. You can take $1 $1, and you can stretch it into 12.5 meals? How are you providing 12 meals with $1?
Well, Feeding America that I mentioned a little bit earlier is a wonderful resource for us. So it means that they're able to form relationships with corporate entities and growers on a very large scale to be able to help us acquire food. But we have a number of relationships locally as well.
So
where
if
we're
somebody
able to
makes a
do that.
donation of $3, they're giving you 36 meals. And these are well-balanced meals.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. We try to acquire food that is as nutritious as we possibly can. And not to say that we don't have, some snacks that come in there along the way. But, almost a quarter of what we are distributing is coming in the form of fresh produce, for example. Anybody who gardened knows that it wasn't a very good year this year.
It was an awful year. It was an awful year. Sorry.
But, it's important to us that we make sure that the food that we're putting out there is as nutritious as we possibly can make it.
Okay. So if people want to help out, I guess the best thing they can do is donate money. Because the money is going to buy, $1 is going to buy 12 meals or 12.5 meals.
12.5, right.
So just think, if you make a $50 donation or a $100 donation, you're feeding a lot of people.
You're feeding a lot of people. That's
Okay?
exactly right.
The other thing is, by donating your time and your compassion, your effort, that makes a difference too.
Always.
You said there were 204 food banks across the country?
Yes,
And you were all exchanging information continuously, right?
We are.
How does the Midwest rank compared to the Southeast or the West Coast or up north? Are we pretty much average, or are we above the line or below the line as far as food insecurity?
That food insecurity figure is pretty standard across the board. A couple of things that I would tell you, though, about our food bank that we can be very proud of. We are the only food bank of 6 in the state of Missouri, and one of only 14 in the country, part of that Feeding America network, that charges nothing for the food that we provide to people.
So when people come into your food bank, they pay zero?
Nothing for the food that we provide. So we're very proud of that. The other thing I would tell you is that in 2014, we actually distributed 33 million pounds of food throughout a 32-county region. We actually distributed the most pounds of food of any of the food banks in the state of Missouri.
Have you ever run out of food?
Sometimes you'll come into the warehouse and things are a little bit scarce, but we always seem to be able to provide.
There's always food for somebody.
There's always food.
Okay. So keep that in mind if you're listening to us today, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. If you have a situation, we all have situations from time to time. What's the number to call for more information? 573-474-1020, or go to our website, www.sharefoodbringhope.org. Okay. Lindsay Lopez, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Paul.
Please come back again, okay? We didn't even talk about the buddy pack. Next time we will. All right? We're out of time for today. Tomorrow, Friday, MU Theater and more. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. I'd love to hear from you.